So once you're done reading the problem, that we have a course that's 1.8, 2 kilometers, and then 1.2. So they want to know the pairs formed by each side. Unless you're guaranteed that this is a right triangle, and you can check to see if it is, we don't have sine, cosine, and tangent to work with. What we do have, though, if it's not a right triangle, is the law of sines, law of cosines. And before we start listing this off, we have to use law of cosines, because law of sines only works if you have a complete pair. We're missing an angle in this pair of side length and angle. Missing an angle of this angle and side length. Missing an angle here. So here's the law of cosines. It allows us to solve for any angle that we want to find in the triangle. But just make sure that when you're considering an angle that you want to solve, little c has to correspond with angle c. So let's call this little c, making this the angle that we're trying to solve for. So that's what it looks like when you plug everything in. So I went through and I simplified it in 1.8 squared, 1.2 squared, and I did 2 times 1.8 times 1.2. But make sure you don't fall for the temptation of taking these and subtracting 4.32 from it, because in order of operations says we need to do multiplication first. We can't multiply until we know what cosine c is. So all we can do is add these up. Now since we're trying to solve for angle c, we can subtract 4.68 from both sides. So now we simplified here, this negative 4.32 is multiplying to the cosine c, so divide by negative 4.32 from both sides. So we get that, and then to get c by itself, you use inverse cosine. So you just need a calculator for that. So we got 80.94 degrees right here. And so now that you have a complete pair, you can use the easier to use law of sines. So this is what she looks like when she's set up, because you say sine of an angle divided by its corresponding side equals sine of a different angle divided by its corresponding side. And then you've got a nice ratio to solve. So you can start off by sine 80.94 in a calculator. And then to get y by itself, you can cross multiply these two and cross multiply these two. So this times this. And then 2 times sine of y, just got to write 2, and then sine y to show that they're being multiplied. So the goal is to get y by itself, so divide 2 from both sides, because that 2 is being multiplied. And then sine is inside, y is inside the trig function, so use sine to the negative first to get it out. So we get 62.72 degrees for this angle here. So to find out the last angle, you've got 180 degrees for the whole triangle. So take 180, subtract 80.94, subtract 62.72. We've got 36.34 degrees there. So there. We found out all the angles formed by each pair of the sides.